All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Legend of the Galactic Heroes, episode 92. Nothing bad will happen this episode.
Nope. Nothing at all.
Well, okay, some things bad will probably happen. That's inescapable. But boy Reinhardt is going to be okay. And Mueller, I don't think there's a force in the universe that could possibly kill that boy.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry.
He'll mule on.
Right, exactly. Lutz, I'm sorry. It's still going to be really sad, but you are the sacrifice that must be made.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know.
Like I would be very upset too if anything happened to Ruintal. Like I really want things to go down smoothly in this visit.
Just fine.
I want it to be something where they make it all the way to Heinesen. I want this to be something where they sit down, have tea,
good conversation. And maybe, just maybe, if we're very lucky, Trunit and Rubinsky will overextend themselves, and then that will be the...
Maybe just Trunit.
Then this new stage of things will just be...
I don't think there's enough luck in the universe
attacking
for
the real
Rubinsky
enemy
to overextend himself at this point.
Yeah, probably not.
I think it's Trunit or nothing. So...
But I'd take Trunit.
Yeah. We would... And everyone would take him, so they could throw him away immediately afterwards.
Yep, just stomp on that cockroach until it finally cracks.
Exactly. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
Well.
All right.
Okay.
So, the assassination attempt went through. We had essentially a whole planet turn against Reinhardt rather quickly. It was not all the inhabitants, I mean, not all the military occupants, but there was someone in high enough regard that they basically put out a 1 billion marks bounty on Reinhardt's head, which I loved. I loved the idea that was what they needed to do, because this was not based in some kind of, Civil War insurrection kind of military coup. It was a, no. If you do this, you'll be sent away, far away from everything with your money, and you'll be...
but you'll be set up for
forever.
Your family,
will be set up for forever.
Right, exactly. So it's and it's also fitting, since Rubinsky is the one plotting this. Of course, he uses money as a way to get it.
Right.
But I love that one guy that was going to do it, and then ends up not.
Freaking Reinhardt just coming up and being, there'll be only one that kills me.
Right.
Which will it be?
Yeah. And that was just so awesome.
You know what's so brilliant about that is the idea that of the 7 or 8 of them or whatever they were all there, the individual amongst them, basically, amongst all of them, thought about this. And this was the one that Meinhof was the one that thought about this and went, wait, I'm not a killer.
Yeah, what am I doing?
I'm not going to be the one. So even if one of them does, I'm going to be the person that helped.
That let it happen.
Let it happen.
Yeah,
I cannot.
Like
that is brilliant.
Oh
Reinhardt.
yeah. It's
this
incredible. Is why he's the emperor of the universe, right? Like,
exactly. Like the amount of presence to be able to stand in front of them, laying their guns directly at him, and just being like, I'm speaking to all of you individually.
Right.
If you will not be the one,
then what are you doing?
Then what are you doing? Yeah.
Like,
holy shit.
Like, well, there's the possibility that they might have had something in order to organize that many forces. It's like, oh yeah, we'll do like a split thing or something, maybe,
platoon,
right? Yeah, exactly. Whatever group finds him, they'll divvy it up or something like that. But
right.
And
there's a possibility that even if they fired on Reinhardt and shot him, they could have gotten into a firefight with the guards, and all but one of them would actually survive.
Right. Well, and
all but one of them would actually die.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
And they'd be like, I killed Reinhardt. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's I love how it happened. It's a great reinforcement of why Reinhardt is in his position, and the fact that time and time again Mueller's like, nope, stay back, sir. Stay behind me. Stay behind me. I will continue to be the Iron Shield. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Oh, man.
I also love that because this was the reason why they were able to motivate the soldiers to turn on their supreme commander here, essentially, that was also the reason why it failed. So Rubinsky's genius in this regard is such that he's like, this is the perfect way to make, at some point they'll go through Urvashi.
Mm-hmm.
Urvashi has someone maybe that I have, contact
in my
the
pocket
Church
or something,
of Terra or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Someone that's high enough up that they have maybe a regiment of soldiers, which is what they had.
Mm-hmm.
Which is,
that's from
enough, perspective, right? That's about 1,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually got the details on this in our notes and stuff, but a regiment typically is around 1,000 soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a garrison. That's a huge amount
right. It's something where
men.
If you keep them separated, like Reinhardt and all the people with him separated from their main forces,
yep.
That's enough, right? Like, and that's one of the things that is so wonderfully tense about a lot of the situations that Reinhardt is in, is that he behaves with this brash confidence and everything,
right?
And that's part of his magnetic persona,
his charisma,
right? Yeah, his charisma. Mm. But at the same time,
it could get him killed.
It could totally get him killed, right? Yang died from one random dude with a gun, right? Like, if not, like, and yet he's willing to basically continue to bet on himself and his charisma and his force of personality and the people next to him. Mm-hmm. That so far somehow he's still alive, right?
Yep.
And okay, like it's this really like just wonderful thing where Julian and Yang, right? They represent the side of the Republican democracy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all of the people with Reinhardt are choosing to, like, these are choices that they are making to follow him, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it gets to the extremity of the choice that they don't turn on Reinhardt here because they choose to follow him,
right?
But they are in their job, like
totally.
If Reinhardt was to
tell them to do something and they didn't, there would be issues, right?
But not only that, it would be the kind of thing of where they would be dishonored even if they weren't executed.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
It would be the worst form of living to watch the glory of this man carrying humanity forward.
Leave them behind.
And basically say, "I abandon you."
Right.
You're nothing to me anymore.
Yeah. So it's something where it's something
like the fear of failing.
Sure, right, and for that you could definitely say that for the vast majority of Reinhardt's empire and how it functions, it is something that is not based on the actual choice of even if it was based on the choice of, say, like the higher ups in his organization, it's certainly not the choices of the the peons,
no,
right?
It's the best thing we have right now, and change is messy, so
right, exactly. But in this situation,
this is fine,
this was an episode that was basically dictated by choice, right? Somewhere there was someone who was in Rubinsky's pocket, and they made the choice to turn on Reinhardt here. And a bunch of people near Reinhardt made the choice, even though there was a lot of opposing conflict to that choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
They made their choices, right? Lutz made his choice, like I love it. I love it. Like it's just it's so good. And our boy's alive.
Our boy's alive. He's able to make it through this. He is not immediately contacting for help.
Mm-hmm.
I am so glad to hear of the competence that Reinhardt has here.
I've got a good flagship, and we're just going to disappear.
Yep. Like, he never needs to make contact with an Imperial thing there until he gets back to
mainland, like
what's
Fejon.
Fejon, thank you. Fejon,
what I love about this is it's something where because Reinhardt's the people under him, right, are so competent, it'll basically be like Oberstein and Bittenfeld and everybody, and just being like Mittermeier, just being like, okay, what do we do? Like this is the situation, right? He's not contacting us. That's good. Now we figure this out. Now
we protect our borders just in case we're about to get attacked.
And I am so excited to see how Mittermeier and Oberstein basically team up to be like, the hell is Ruenthal doing?
Now the best part about this is that there are a lot of minds in the Empire that are rational to the point of almost a negative. That they might see the cold reality of this and go, okay, no matter what, we need to essentially subpoena Ruenthal.
Right.
And demand that he come to Fejon.
Sure.
And the thing is, I could see Ruenthal coming.
I know.
And not actually coming with a massive fleet.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
like the same kind of thing that Reinhardt did, where he's got
exactly
enough ships to basically make sure that some random person isn't going to kill him because,
yeah.
oh, you attacked Mein Kaiser, you know. But like,
right.
Yeah.
But I could also see this being a thing of where Ruenthal looks at this and goes, "You doubt me? You think
maybe
like, you think I would?"
But at the same time, I feel like this is why I'm really curious to get Ruenthal's perspective on all of this, because like assuming that, you know, he didn't turn on Reinhardt here,
of course he did,
right? Because you know, of course he didn't.
No, he would have done something way more effective than this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would love to see him just being like,
yeah.
what is going on? Like how he tries to deal with this.
Right.
Like not just from the standpoint of how does he interact with the like the other side of the galaxy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how does he deal with his own new land, right? How does he basically try and figure out who the mole is, where the rat is that basically caused this to happen? Because regardless of whether or not like it worked, you know, of like going after Reinhardt or whatever.
Right.
He is basically
It was done on his watch.
It was done on his watch, and even if he didn't care about that, it is also an attack against him, basically, because it's trying to pin something on him, right? Like that's serious, you know. So like he could die from this, even though he didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. So I very much want to see these parties involved talk to each other, but I very much want to see Ruenthal talk with the parties that weren't involved as well, i.e. Mittermeier, for example. Also, in some ways, weirdly enough, I would very much like to see Mariendorf interact potentially with Ruenthal. I mean, especially Reinhardt, of course. Yeah.
Right.
It's terrifying. But the sooner Reinhardt gets back to Fejon, the sooner we can settle the idea of things blowing up into a civil war.
Yeah. And if it does blow up into a civil war, which it totally could,
right? Oh, it absolutely could.
It absolutely could. Even if Ruenthal and Reinhardt kind of like do everything perfectly, like it could totally happen. And if that's the case, if Julian finds himself just being like, we're in Iserlon and they need to get a pincer, you know, to the other side, like that would be some really cool like stakes to
which
provide
side too.
Yeah, and from which side to provide then a ton of agency to Julian of how do I want this to go? Like which ways, side do I give, you know,
in some
passage?
Ways everything has flipped.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Oh, it's great.
Fejon is now Iserlon.
Sure.
Like what Fejon was back in the beginning is now Iserlon, the neutral third party thing in the middle.
Oh, it's beautiful.
One of the
it's poetry, you know.
Well, instead of it rhymes, it's more of the thing of where it's like,
literally what
every day.
What Yang and Reinhardt did at the very beginning of the show. Ouroboros, you know. I mean, hey.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.